Alright, well, Kerry's building the inline 6 turbo system. And I got a 2-barrel for him. I'm going to run through it and get it to where she should be good to run. It's a draw through instead of a blow through. But I'm going to run to this thing and put some new gaskets in it and get rid of the 50cc pump, put a 30 on it, and just clean it up, make it good. Well, probably not clean the outside, but just make it to where it'll run. So I'm doing that. I'm going to fix this stuff right quick. It's early in the morning. I ain't got nothing else to do, so I'm going to do this real quick before I actually have to go do stuff. Alright, clean everything up, pulled the little plunger out of that, cleaned down in there, everything's good. Got a 29 shooter on it, actually a 28 shooter, so it'll have a pretty long duration. Went from the 50cc arm and pump to a 30cc arm with the yellow, actually it's more like an off-white pump cam. Spread the duration a little better, help with that, help keep the fuel going while it goes into the turbo, gaskets and stuff. Set the float. It's got the good seals on the bolts, the gasket. So yeah, close the primaries off. It's got 2 holes drilled, so the primaries don't got to be open that far. Should work good. Just got to put it all back together. The base plate gasket was fine. Between the base plate and the main body, the gasket's fine. Also, I meant to say I went with 66 primary jet and a 6.5 power valve. It had 72s and a 4.5 because I had put it together to run on the Camaro just to fire it up and make sure everything was good. So, fix that. 66s, 6.5. Cleaned out all the vacuum ports. Everything should be good. Alright, there it is. Rejetted, power valved, and kitted. Should be good. Alright, so Kerry's working on turbo in his inline 6 over here. And he went ahead and made him an adapter. It's going to be a draw through instead of a blow through, because that's just cheaper to do. He went ahead and made all this. We got the turbo mocked up where it's going to go. Exhaust is going to come out, go into spool turbo. The oil return is going to come down. The oil feed is going to be in the top side. And it's going to have a 2-barrel. This is a 500 CFM NASCAR 2-barrel. It's pretty wicked 2-barrel. And the exhaust is going to come out here and either turn down or exit out the fender or whatever you want to do with it. But it'd probably be able to just turn right out and dump right back down there where it was at before. Yeah. But he's mocking everything up, and that's how you do it. He's going to put the carb setting out over that way. Yeah. Yes, very nice. And then it's good to cut, if you cut right there, if you need to trim a little bit more, you can. At least you got something to play with. Right. But that way you could run just a cable linkage deal over to the carburetor with no issue. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. I was thinking. Yeah, this is how we do it. We prop it up with a hammer, because that's why. And don't breathe too hard. Yeah, exactly. Don't bump the truck. That'll work. He's going to build type of bracket deal, whatever, to come up and hold the weight of the carburetor. Won't take much. Ain't that heavy, especially that plate and stuff you have on it. And the exhaust will probably hold the turbo pretty good with no issue. Dad's exhaust is holding a turbo like what Colton's got over there. Just the exhaust tubing's what's holding Dad's turbo up. Yeah, and it's one like that. They're heavy. Yeah, they're real heavy. They're probably 45 pounds a piece, I'd say, something like that. They're pretty heavy. Wow. And these ain't but like 25, 30 maybe. Yeah. Absolutely. It's gonna be awesome. but it is happening. That's so cool. Hey, he's doing it all out of scrap stuff. He ain't bought a thing. It's all just stuff he's got laying around. He had to make these plates. Where's that one on that carburetor? I had to make look at that. Yeah. I had to make this plate. Yeah. That's awesome. Oh yeah. This is gonna be like so. Yep. And that's plenty of plenum. That'll be perfect. See, all that'll go in and go straight into the turbo, compressing the turbo, then go into the intake of the engine. Hence, draw through instead of blow through. All right, well, he's got it all mocked up there. He's got to get a coupler, a reducer coupler like that, but that's about where it's going to sit. That's cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
Yeah, then your fuel can just go boop right up to it.
Oh, yeah. I'll run a cable up there for the
Yeah.
throttle. Well, I like that a lot.
Super simple, but looks cool. Oh, yeah. All right, well, me and Carla come over here to Fox Holler, see Mr. Kerry Fox, and show everybody what he's been working on. He has built an inline 6 draw-through turbo system on this motor. How old's that motor?
That's 56.
56. See what he's done? He built all this. I gave him this little turbo. It's a T3, T4. I think it's a 60 millimeter. And put a NASCAR 2-barrel on it. He built the whole intake system. It's got a vacuum leak because we ain't got a thick enough gasket for it. But it fired right up. That's so cool. It's only got 7 pounds of boost right now, because we're not sure what the static compression ratio was. So 7 ought to be safe. Not sure where the timing's at. None of that yet, but he ain't going up road just yet. Look at this. It's all cool. Runs out down, comes underneath the truck. Look at that, right out back through there. Super cool.
I don't see oil leaks. That's good, man.
Now, I don't see none. Yeah. Very nice.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, he built the whole thing. It's all custom.
Wow.
Yeah, but it being a draw through, see, it all goes in, mixes in the turbo, and crams in the intake. So you don't have to have specialty stuff for the carburetor or nothing like that. And this is probably the best draw through setup you could do, because it's all gravity just falling into the turbo. We started up and then shut it off, and then it just took one pump shot to get it fired back up again. And it ain't even up to temperature, I don't think. Yeah, it's a little warm. Well, it's fired up again. It fired right up. You got to ignore the vacuum leak because we ain't got a gasket for that, but everything else is sweet. It all comes out down there, goes up into the turbine, spools up. Yep.
It's alive!
Yeah.
Find the thicker gas.
We'll go around the backside, see if I can hear the motor more than that squall. It ain't got a return spring, so you gotta... Listen to it back here. It's so funny. It revs so good.
Oh yeah, you hear it. I like it.
All right, cool.
I love it.
Feel how cold this is. Well, I was talking about not needing an intercooler. Feel that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's the way up too.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Con didn't say that's how cold it is. Cooling the turbo, feel the turbo.
Oh yeah, it ain't hot.
Yeah. No. Boy, that is. Easy. But come here, check this out. Remember what I was talking to you about? Cold air coming in and how fuel atomization cools things. Come here and feel this intake tube. I guarantee you've never felt an intake tube like this on any vehicle.
Oh wow.
Atomization of fuel. It does that, goes into the turbo, cools the turbo, fill the turbo. Sucker is cool to the touch.
Dang. That's wild.
Oh yeah.
self-sufficient in it.
Well, that means you can turn the boost on up. You can run the timing up. You can turn the boost up. Because that inlet charge, no, leave it at 7 for now. But
Yeah.
that inlet charge is going to be nice and cool and dense.
Yeah.
That is killer right there.
We're gonna get this straightened out.
Look at that. She sweats, man. It all started with a, hey, let's turbo that.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
there it is.
It's like, I got this turbo.
Let's build a draw through.
Like, let's do it.
And he took off and started building everything and just, he did it perfect.
You know,
It's going to have a little bit of a delay. Like when you first, that little bit of hesitation, it's going to have that because all the fuel has to go in and mix and then hit the intake. But it's I mean, it's like, you're not going to notice it.
no.
But man, that is,
And at the time, I was doing body work on that door, and I hate body work. I was so happy to start doing this right here.
how crazy that thing looks, man. That's too cool. Well, good deal. Now you know it works.
I can't believe it.
Get you a good thick gasket and
Yep.
we'll fix that. That's the only issue so far. It's not having a good gasket. And then you can start building, you can probably leave the carb right where it is and start building your throttle deal.
Oh, yeah. See, and that'll push up, and that'll pull back.
Yeah. Next time Burl's over here, fire this thing up and let him feel that, and then he'll understand why you don't need an intercooler.
Oh, yeah. Look, you can see the
Yeah.
sweat running off that.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get my phone. I gotta take a picture of that.
Because that atomization of that fuel, man, it's like a super cooler. That's awesome. Well, all right, cool. Well, that's a wrap. Next time, I guess we'll take it up the road. He's got to build the throttle deal and all that stuff and a return spring. But hey, it runs. Everything you built worked great. Way to go, Kerry. Way to go.
Thanks,
Welcome to the club of turbo action.
Thank you for your help.
You're gonna be hooked. You're never gonna be the same.
If it wasn't for you knowing about this, I think it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is.
How many old trucks like this you open?
There ain't none. There ain't none. No. There ain't none, especially not around here. All right, cool. Well, me and Carl's gonna go find something to eat, and Kerry's gonna sit out here and play with himself because he's excited.
I'm kind of happy. I'll tell you that right now.
All right, working on the Great Pumpkin again. Got a new Tremec 5-speed. Tremec, however you want to say it. New 5-speed put in. I'm gonna build him a new tunnel. Just got to modify the cross member, drill some holes. She's in there. New clutch, all that. Out with the old Muncie, in with this. It's Jim's 55. Sucker's killer. All right, I'm building Jim a tunnel piece. Cut out of cardboard. It's going to come down further than that in the back. But this is so he'll be able to pull that trans in and out. So that way all the clear, everything's good. Should be fine. Made out of cardboard first. All right, out here at Dustin's, he bought this big fancy APD carburetor. It's a 1040. Ooh, it's a nice carburetor. But she's got a bog, a hesitation. Says it stumbles till about 2,500. So I'm gonna fix it. So I'm gonna take it loose, pull the bowl off, see what kind of bar valve, see what we're working with inside here. Probably just a mixture issue, that or the air bleeds. So we will see. But that's what I'm doing. I ain't been out Dustin's in a long time. Ain't nobody here. Nice open garage with lights. But it has a 4.5. I don't think 4.5 is good enough. It's nice. They're just kind of the same as the Proform. Proform and the HP. Let's see. Got some gasket material in it. The idle restrictors is adjustable. Everything's adjustable. This thing's pretty awesome. 81. No, it's not big enough. That's the issue. It's too lean. Well, there's your problem. She's going lean. Man, it's humid in here. So, step a jet up. I don't know. I didn't bring my jet box, but I might have some in in here that's big enough. So I can at least get close to the 90 something, 92 maybe. It's jet related. It's going lane. All right, changed the jetting. Adjusted the mixture screws. They were out really far. It's a little fat, so I run them in all the way, backed them out, quarter turn in the front, and then a quarter and a half on the back. Now, no pump shot. Flip the pump on. Oh, gotta turn the ignition. Fuel pump's on. No pump shot. Alright, so we're hearing the stumble. And there goes Dustin's car. Oh, I do not like door bars. They're just molested. Alright, well, she's up to temperature 160. Got rid of the little bit of hesitation. When I first fixed it, it had just the slightest little bit. Tweaked on it again, ended up back in the Dustin. Anyway, that takes Dustin back. Fattened up, I readjusted the accelerator pump, fattened up the primary just a little bit more. Adjusted the mixer screw. The mixer screw is out. Instead of a quarter turn on the primaries, it's out half a full turn on the primary side, 3/4 of a full turn on the secondary side, and pump. No pump shot. That's about as good as you're gonna get with a monster. That carburetor is a 1040 whatever, and that's just flat footing right off of idle, and it's just boom boom. So that's a 4.5 power valve. His vacuum doesn't read a whole lot. He's probably got 5 inches of vacuum at idle with his pump going. It probably goes up as engine RPM comes up because it's belt driven, but still it's not all that great. So the power valve is trying to open, so it'd be better if he had like a 100 jet or like a 96 and a blocked off power valve, but couldn't find his jets, and he'll just have to order a power valve because I could block this off, but I don't want to with that 90 jet in it. So it's killer, dude. Killer. I guess I'm gonna close this, fire it up, and back up and poke it one time and see if she's clear. So it doesn't text back. Did you launch it yet? No, not yet, man. I'm about to. All right, well, Dustin thought the timing was at 35 or 36. He said that's where it made the most power, but in actuality, it's only 33 degrees. So, I'm gonna turn her up. Turn it up to 36. That's gonna lock it. Because with a motor like this, 1, 2, 3 degrees of timing can be 20, 30, 40 horsepower. Because it's just perfect. So, we'll check it, see. All right, now we're up to 36 degrees. All right, went to 36 off of 33, and wow. With a bigger carb, with the more fuel and the more air and everything else, turning the timing up helped it. We'll just have to see how it mile an hour. It ought to mile an hour faster with more timing than it was before at 33. So we'll absolutely have to check and see what it does at the track. But I still would block the power valve, go with a bigger jet primary, and see what it does. Because, man, that sounds good. All right. Dustin was supposed to be here, but he had to work late because somebody called out, so he had to stay, which sucks, but whatever. I'll see him when he goes to the track. Like, so easy. That's about as good as that's gonna get. So, man, nice. All right, now that's a wrap. Calling it. Put the cover on it and close it up, and there go Dustin. Enjoy. Y'all get to see him when he goes to the track. I'll be down there filming. But that's so much better than it was when I got here, man. It was just like dead bog city, just bah bah. So, all right, there you go. That's a wrap. My work here is done. Alright, I'm working on Brian's carburetor. 650. Base plate, bowls, all that stuff. Took the choke off of it. Got to clean up down in there and put all the parts and pieces in it. I drilled the power valve restrictor circuits out to 72,000 so I can run a smaller jet than like 70, run like a 65 or a 66. That way to be clean cruising. Then when you open it up, all the fuel's there. So it'll make it a little easier on cruising. Alright, got some new gaskets. Bowls, floats are set, all cleaned up. Middle and seats. There's a little trick for fuel source. Take a piece of brass and bend it out like that. Keep fuel from pumping out the vent tube. Alright, well, I had to build a custom power valve block off. I had to take it all the way down like that, make it super thin, fit into there, because 650s don't have a place for a power valve. So I'd take his power valve and cut it down, cut it down, cut it down. I could have just JB welded, but I don't think JB weld will stay. I think it'll eventually leak. So I'll put that in there, and I put a notch in the back so I can tighten it up with a flathead. I say it sets below the gasket. Now it'll butt right up against that right there and seal. Because this isn't a 650 meter plate, it's actually 800 meter plate. But it doesn't have the, this is only a 2-corner idle base plate. So, make this work. Alright, there it is. Okay, so I did the carburetor for Brian in Georgia. Here it is, 650. But everything I've got, my cars are either tunnel rammed or turboed. So I'm using Carlos Camaro to tune the carburetor in, because this similar cam, similar compression, everything's very similar with this combination as what's in his car. So I got it hooked up right here. I'm just going to check for leaks, and then I'll bolt it up there and fire it up and adjust it in. This has got 72 thousandths power valve restrictor circuits. I drilled them out to 72 thousandths, so that makes me able to run smaller jets. It's got a 66 primary, 76 secondary. Yeah, when you increase that power valve restrictor circuit, you can run a leaner part throttle, and it'll help with gas mileage and stuff like that. And then when you jump in the throttle, it richens up and makes the mixture fatter. Check it for leaks, and then I'll bolt it up there and fire it up. Alright, well, I'm working on Brian's carburetor again. The base plate that I got, it's got 109s and 268 butterflies in it. So what I'm doing is I'm putting 172, 173, which is a 750 base plate. And these ports for the 650 are a little bit bigger than what you'd expect. So this is not going to be exactly 650 CFM. It'll probably be like a 700 CFM, basically. But had to drill 2 holes in this to make it a 4-corner to match up to the base plate, and to changing the metering block and secondary to a 4-corner idle instead of a 2-corner. So I'm changing all that over. Then I'm going to back together and throw it on there and see if it runs better, because it just didn't run. It wasn't very clean. So I'm changing this, put it all back together and throw it on the Camaro right there and see how good we can get it. Alright, here it is. This is the 650 with the 750 base plate, 172, 173. This will make it about a 700 CFM, 675, something like that. Because these bores are a little bit bigger than what your standard 650 is, and instead of going with the small, see, this is a standard 650. See how small that is? These are a little bit bigger than that. I had my calipers checking it. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I'll check it again, write it down. And then you got these bores. See, these are your standard 650 bore, a 109 and a 268. These are 172, 173. So it should still have the snappiness of a 650, but it should be able to pull a little bit more up top. So now I'm going to throw it on and see if that cured it. Alright, here's Brian from Georgia. This is his 650. It's actually a 700 CFM because I modified a bunch of stuff to it. Mixer screws with 2 turns out in the front, 1 full turn out in the back, and that seems to be the sweet spot. No pump shot, nothing like that. Fuel pump, and then secondary at all. So that'd be a wicked little carburetor for him. Be good.